Raze this time playing another fragger, could be an entry fragger as well, under the hands of Reyna. It's still going to be a nice battle to see, because I like to see these types of teams now evolving with the new agents coming out with the new maps, while you still have pretty much the same 5 or 6 agents that are always played by TSM, because the difference right now is Wardell plays or a Jet or plays a Sova, but the rest always stays the same.
Smoke's down.
So we are going to see some smokes being exchanged. Omen now exchanging with Brimstone. A lot of mid control going on. So Gen.G has accomplished a lot here in the early round by the minute mark, but Drone looks like he wants to get aggressive. So if we see Subroza make that contact,
that's right,
to actually get that curveball out there and fight it.
So it starts off here, like you said, Subroza is going to be the first point of contact. I don't know if it's necessarily going to be the spike carrier that's going to peek first, and MkaeL is actually watching for a flank play. So it all comes down to having to be big play is going to be Subroza, who spots the first one, gets the kill, curveball coming out as well, but it's walled out, and even a boost on top of that. So Drone jumps on top. Wardell, though, inside of a main, manages to get a triple kill, and they start off strong right now for TSM on this pistol.
Yeah, so that was actually my fault. I thought Drone was going to take the fight, but Drone actually played that a lot better than I thought he would. I thought he was going to take the fight, maybe get one and go down, but instead what he did was just pop it for Subroza to take the repeat, and that was exactly what needed to happen there. Subroza able to pick up a kill. Drone actually gets on top of the ice barrier and starts creating confusion there, and all the while Wardell is just picking up frags. So 4K on the round from Wardell.
And what I like about it too is that the way that he used the curveball was to give a chance as well from Subroza, who was actually blinded as well from a Leer from the arena. So it was a good way to run down the timer of that Leer and give a chance for him to repeat and get those first kills. And Wardell, triple kill, you know, people have been criticizing him on that first map, but he's come out to play here in this third so far with a triple kill to start. This round now, it's going to be the attackers going to test out the waters towards mid side, and it's going to be Subroza smoking deep so he could still get good control here to rotate towards B if he needed to. But all 5 players are currently stacked right at the entrance, now falling back at the fountain.
Look at the positioning right now for Cutler as well.
Bucky.
Yeah, this is going to do damage, but it doesn't seem like anybody's favoring him right now. Instead, it's going to be Subroza to be the hero in this round, and he's going to be able to pull this one off.
Well, he only has a ghost, and they're trying to walk through it. That's a one tap, but he gets picked off by effys. At least they know that the spike carrier is trying to push down towards spawn. So they already have a crossfire set up. One guy trying to look back towards garden because a teammate has fallen down actually from a lurker up on catwalk. So that was a frenzy kill. Hayes, meanwhile, getting frag onto player 1 back towards B. 2 guys looking back towards spawn, and that's Drone and Wardell going to work up towards catwalk, up towards spawn, and that's going to be now 2 unanswered rounds in the fun BM. Let's call it the fun BM here from Drone for that kill.
All right, 2-0 now. We're moving into the first gun rounds. GMD, a little bit of light shield. Looks like they're going to be actually favoring that B area to begin. So I don't think they're going to be looking for too much mid presence. Oh, actually, no. They're going to be drifting over towards mid. So yeah, they're going to be looking for a heavy mid presence. Take control of that. Then we'll see where they end up moving towards.
It starts off here. Wardell changes position a bit. Does have the Marshal, even walking through the Omen smoke just to try to get a surprise attack midway. But MkaeL is going to be the first one to get the kill, and it's all action right now towards his B side as the defenders try to push very aggressively towards the entrance of the B side, and they've done it before. So Hayes is now going to wall it up, forcing right now a couple of shots to break down the barrier. But it's 3 players right now on the attackers moving up and 1 lurking towards mid, and that is going to be the Reyna lurking mid. So Hayes has to come up huge. I think he only had, no, he has actually nothing left right now. Not even a heal, no frost orbs, no wall. And now even a Sova arrow drone is coming in towards this B side. That's going to spot Jet towards the spawn side. So Wardell does have that Marshal, but the big play has to come from Hayes still inside this site. Recon arrow gives him gives him away. And he gets even headshotted there by player 1.
And Wardell able to pick up 1 at least with the Marshal onto GMD. The spike should be going down momentarily here. Does look like a 2-on-3 retake. That's what TSM's gonna have to deal with.
Yeah.
Yeah. You think it's, you think it's doable?
I don't think so, because Jet was down in 9 HP, so Wardell doesn't have much to work with. But the reason why I was like, it's because they also didn't really upgrade into that round, right? So they have a chance to do some econ damage if they could.
It's not really a must-win situation.
That's right. And it's traded off for a few. They managed to get 1 kill out of that. Nonetheless, though, Gen.G does get the round onto the board. What I did like, though, E-mode, is we'll have to check it later on how they execute towards this B side for Gen.G. But you saw it was basically a leer to move in. They move inside the site. But what I like on top of that is that effys self-boosted himself on the boxes where the orb is. So that means he has free reign to strafe around the windows and look inside the site as well to support his teammates for trades.
Yeah, that was a great little play. Great little individual play there by effys. As we look at this round, though, we are seeing some pressure over towards A very early on here.
Oh, they didn't have that much money, eh?
No, they didn't.
Yeah, Cutler only has a Bulldog. Yeah, Bulldog, Spectre, and a Ghost. So despite them winning 2 rounds, losing that round right there forced them on a broken bye, pretty much. So interesting that that happened on their end.
All right. By the looks of it now, I do think, honestly, the mid control is going to open up a lot here for the Gen.G side, and they've got to pressure it. We do see Wardell positioned, waiting, but now that smoke cuts off his vision. Alex, that's so huge.
Yeah.
No charges.
When you want to play so passively and try to get that details as an operator, I mean, a smoke is all you need, and they're using it great. I saw it from the position already from where Omen was at, playing towards that B connector. So now they're going to try to split into this A side. Even Subroza decides to fall back inside the side. Cutler is giving away his position from that Owl drone. But Drone himself, the player, peeks out from Generate and gets the first kill. Actually, sorry, from Heaven and gets the first kill.
Oh,
no!
My goodness.
Okay, it's a hot hands. He can heal himself with that.
Yeah, but you saw CS instincts kick in real quick. He started running away.
Yeah. Yeah, a little moment of panic. But nonetheless, the spike has now been planted. We have 1 player inside Hell. The wall is yet to be broken here towards that short side. They're going to pick up a Spectre on top of that. So I think we're going to fall back and try to save our weapons here. Yeah. Unless Drone can get a bit of damage. No, they're going to all fall back. So it's going to be 2-2 tied up. So they managed to salvage a Spectre on top of that. Maybe drop that gun for an upgrade into the next. But Gen.G showing that mid control. If you give that up, you pay the price.
Yeah, mid control is everything. I mean, it's the same thing on Cash, right? When you look at a map like that, you want the mid control because it allows you to do so much in terms of splitting onto bomb sites. And when you look at a map like this, that's the exact same thing. If you're able to take off mid, you're able to go and split onto B. If you take over mid, you're able to go and split onto A. And having that ability is just what makes this map so good.
So with that salvage Spectre, they keep it. They upgrade with Phantoms into this round. 3 Phantoms right now for the defenders, and the operator, though, still safe from that previous round of Wardell. We've seen Wardell also op a lot towards the back of the garage at the B side, but they're still utilizing him towards his mid for TSM. Not too much of a damage there from the shock arrows up on Catwalk. Low armor, but high HP. Even effys was forced to heal, so that's heal broken away here towards this connector side. Op shots missed by Wardell, but at least warding shots to keep them alert right now onto the attacker side. But you see, that's a smoke and a Sova Owl drone that forces rotations out and gives them mid control. So you don't really need to bring that fight towards them. And now they have a lot of map control where now the defenders have to gamble a site and hopefully be able to hold their grounds this time.
Molly. Prepare for hellfire.
Orbital strike coming down towards that Catwalk. Flashpoint, sorry, curveball coming in from Drone as well towards this mid side just to clear it up. So it was a fake towards A. They're running back towards B. And Drone is playing towards spawn so far. And they still have Wardell with the op. huynh, meanwhile, does manage to get the kill onto Subroza. And meanwhile, we have cleared out towards A. And now they're booking back towards this A side with 15 seconds left on the clock. But MkaeL is in a great position right now to catch him on rotations. And here's that first kill onto Drone. Looking for a second with success. Wardell goes for the kill with the Blade Storm. But as he peeks back out, he gets headshotted there by player one in the front. So back and forth, and that's twice that they rotate into a single round to be able to win this one here for Gen.G and make it 3-2.
Yeah, that was a really, really good round there. I mean, it looked like after Wardell's first knife or ultimate kill there, we were actually going to see the opportunity for the retake to happen. But unfortunately, it just didn't play out that way. The defense on the Gen.G side, they weren't really giving too many picks away, Alex, and that's what really stopped the retake from taking place at all for the defenders.
Yeah.
And when you have to look for kills and the clock is already wound down that much on the spike, it just makes it so hard.
But it's also thanks to like just great positioning on how MkaeL was actually lurking inside that site, forcing right now the defenders to be on some sort of another broken bind. Spectre, Sheriffs, Owl Drone coming through, position given away, headshotted by MkaeL. Cutler falls down. As this should be an easy take right now for the attackers inside A. But you do have a big flank coming in though. Wardell is all the way towards spawn. Spike has now been planted.
Yeah, Wardell's not really looking for much, though. That's the issue here. He's just looking for the exits, and rightfully so. It's a safe round. They're not. You might as well just try and get a gun and get out of there. He will break the tripwire. That's going to give away his spot. Nice, nice sheriff shot. SPL1 does trade it out.
Quickly traded out on top of that, so he's holding back towards Wine, and then Drone is trying to peek out here. But that is going to be it. So it's going to be another round unanswered here. What? That is 3 rounds unanswered so far for Gen.G?
Yeah, pretty much. As soon as they got guns in their hands. Drone now, look at this hunt.
Yeah, he's going to die from this no matter what. He's just trying to do some econ damage, but unfortunately not.
Almost. Okay. We'll see the buy coming in now from the TSM side. 4-2 is our score line here, and how is Gen.G going to take the approach to this round here? It does look like mid control might be favored, as we do see Sage and Omen setting up for that. Cypher's just laid down his tripwire towards B. He's going to do the same towards A. It does look like Reyna also will be heading towards middle, Alex. Excuse me.
Yeah, no, you're right, Evan. It looks like a mid control and then finish towards A if they can. But it starts off early smoke. They're doing such a great job to nullify Wardell every single time working towards his mid side. I think they have to change that a little bit there. When they look towards that aggression from Subroza playing earlier on, I think it was against Immortals, right? When they were playing on this map and then he was able to get those kills, then it was just them pushing aggressively on Catwalk, getting that control towards that B connector, and then from that, really assess dominance towards his mid side, which prevented Immortals from really getting anything done. This time, though, one clear smoke, mid is already all open. You try to gamble into a site. So far, at least it works out, because Cutler does get the first kill into A main, and the rotation also came across for a 3-man stack. But one person is lurking towards defender spawn. He gets a dink and a kill from a wallbang. So a great shot there from Drone onto player one. The rest have no choice but to try to contact into this A site.
I don't know where they go from here. Now being spotted. effys able to take down Wardell, though. Wardell just doing a lot of crowd control clearing there. Now with that recon bolt coming out, Cutler takes out his spot as well. We are going to see Phoenix running in, looking for that frag, just whittling away on that clock and getting Sova now.
Yeah. And they don't know the information from the last 2 players, but from this wall bang here, they know at least that Cutler is in the back of the site. GMD, though, opens up onto Subroza, and from that dismiss, as soon as he comes out of it, Cutler headshots him, and White swings into the second kill onto effys to finally try to catch up in this matchup here for TSM. They managed to save the operator for Wardell into that round, and they have to still come up big. huynh also has an operator on his side, too, now.
Yeah, look at how ridiculous this money is. So they're going to buy up pretty much instantaneously. Gen.G already had their guns in their hands. So they know what they want to do. They already have an approach to this round, and it looks like mid is what they're going to favor again.
Yeah, it seems to be pretty standard at this point, right? We talk about mid all the time, and it seems as though, especially with players with this CS experience, mid control, they know how important that is. So they're asserting dominance towards that side. Although this time is a little bit more passive because they're playing all the way in the back. They're trying to get that information out. So instead of smoking out the archway, they let their opponents come towards them and use the operator from huynh to get that pick. So a great job there for this Gen.G team to take this mid control in a different way that it pays off too.
Essentially, what happened there was after Omen teleported over across to the box, Drone had no idea. So he was still jiggling for that left side top mid. And then Omen able to just pick up that shoulder peek very easily. Drone had no idea.
Yeah.
The hunt begins.
And sorry, then that means that they probably gave the operator to PL1 to go for that teleported peek. So a great job, great teamwork for them to do that as well. So it wasn't a huynh with that operator. They went for a cheeky play with the abilities, using that to their advantage. But huynh takes the operator back in his hands, takes down Wardell on that operator duel, and they open up towards his B bomb site on this 3 versus 2. So it leaves right now CutLr and Subroza, the last two remaining, going on this rotate, but split across the map.
Yeah, that's the issue here. Just so far apart, and it's going to be individual duels. So no transit trading right now. And it will be the first kill going with Gen.G.
I like it. Subroza waiting to get the kill before he breaks the tripwire. As the spike has been planted on his 2 versus 1, 14 bullets left in the chamber. Actually, it's on a 3 versus 1, sorry. So at this point, picks up the operator. We'll try to save it for the next round.
Good choice. Definitely a good choice. Oh, and just gets caught actually there by Reyna, who's coming down middle. So at this point now, Subroza, is he able to stay alive? Missing that shot as well. Reyna's about to peek you, buddy. You better get ready.
I'm not too sure why he still has his axe out.
I don't think he was expecting Reyna to be there maybe that quickly.
Well, I mean, when you get tanked from that mid side, you probably should assume that they're trying to hunt you down. Maybe he thought that he was a little bit further out, but...
Yeah.
All right. All right. So we already saw Subroza buying already. So I don't know if they're going to try to force up again on the defender side. Yeah, they are. So it's going to be 3 Phantoms. Hazed again with only a pistol. But he does have a res, so he could be useful in this round still. And an operator for Wardell. Was trying to change things around, but a smoke earlier on. And once again, we go back into frustrating the operator of Wardell.
Ooh.
Yeah, somehow that missed.
Get out of there.
For you.
Oh, at least he gets a dig right now from Hazed. So it gets immediately healed up by effys, and he's going to try to teleport out into the cubby. Oh my god. I don't know if they I know for sure they heard it, but I don't know if they saw him that he was going to move really close, and he did gets the kill onto Wardell. Goes for a smoke towards that spawn side as MkaeL does manage to get a kill onto Drone inside B as well. And just like that, 5-on-3, last 2 players once again probably in a situation forced to save. Gen.G, oh my god, they're looking good here on this attacker side.
Yeah, unfortunately, I mean, Hayes going down there towards the site. He was actually that site anchor, right, Alex? So when he goes down, that opens it up. You see Omen, as soon as that happens, he realizes, wait a second, I'm just going to teleport to the back here. And in doing so, I mean, he gets that whole area to himself, creates so much space across that entire site for his team. And, well, Gen.G is going to go ahead and pick up their 6.
No hard feelings.
Yeah, I think that was a nice fry there from CutLr, getting the angle onto his side. They're still trying to hunt him down, and you could see it from this minimap. He's looking up for a lot of pressure and doesn't even pass the first obstacle as effys headshots him with a Vandal. So 6-3, 2 more rounds to go here in this first half. What do you think needs to change right now on the defender side, Evan? Because, again, the smoke towards mid nullifies Wardell for a lot of the round.
Yeah, I mean, we're not really seeing too much aggression here out of the TSM side on this map. I'd like to see them get a little bit more aggressive, maybe even towards that B area. Maybe B main, maybe A main. Middle is kind of a write-off. I feel like Gen.G is doing a really good job of controlling that and knowing when they have it, knowing when it's a little bit too much pressure against them. So I think middle is kind of just not their go-to. But at the same time, you do need to fight for middle to have success.
But you've seen rounds when we've casted TSM on this very map, where, for example, when Subroza had an op, he would actually opt into the entrance of the A bomb site. And sometimes we go for these pushes towards the B side, where they actually tried it once and got denied. But they're not really trying to move the op at a different position where they could actually get these first kills. Instead, they have to go for these tough trades every single time.
Wardell was just taking those jumps from spawn. They're not able to connect on those knives. However, we are going to see Gen.G as well as Omen leading that rush. That smoke might have a gap on it, actually. This could be dangerous.
Brimstone all to come down. They're running into each other. And that's going to damage a lot, at least. So that's going to be a very good start to try to turn things around on this eco, at least for the defenders. But player one says no. Headshots Hazed. And I think that was through the smoke towards that garden side. Meanwhile, though, at least Subroza with the Sheriff is able to trade it back. Color holding inside the site, as it seems as though it might be where they're walking into, because you also have a Cypher lurking towards the front of the entrance of A. Teleporter from Omen. Footsteps being heard back towards the garden side.
Oh!
And he connects. So he connects onto that one. They actually get another kill onto the catwalk, so they'll be able to salvage 2 guns here. And there's only 5 seconds left on the clock, so they have the spike down, actually. So this is it. They won the round.
That is insane. That was a great defense. I'm not sure what actually happened there on the side of Gen.G. It felt like they got plugged up. They felt like they just felt a little bit insecure. You were talking about that Brimstone ulti doing a lot of damage, but it only did about 50 damage to Reyna, so the rest of them were okay. I would have understood if they got held up maybe because of the damage and they wanted to reassess their approach, but they could have continued on their way there, Alex. So I'm just not sure what was going on in the Gen.G camp that ended up, you know, losing them to time, basically, right?
Yeah. There was a lot of Brimstone smokes, too, that really ran that clock down. So maybe with the time remaining, they're like, oh, let's try go for like a last-minute push towards A like they kind of did before. Or at least last-minute pushes in general when we focus towards this series. But because of that, Subroza catches them off guard, was able to take down that spike carry. Meanwhile, they were also able to take down the lurker in front of A main. So any type of flanks, any types of crossfires, or any types of pressure was immediately nullified from just 2 Sheriff shots.
The hunt begins.
So now they win this eco here for TSM.
Nowhere to run.
Gen.G is trying to move forward right now as he has ulted into the Empress, trying to clear out the A side. Meanwhile, though, Hazed does get the headshot onto MkaeL, as they're still being held down and slowed towards this B side. They go for the res, and Reyna still has control of the A side, so I don't know if they're going to try to fall back into A if they can, because so far, Sova is making his way there. And there you go, they're starting to walk back.
They should be pulling off right now, especially now because Sova picking up the kill onto Subroza towards heaven. I mean, at this point, Reyna's taking so much control. If they don't capitalize on this, it's very unfortunate. And there you go, Reyna now using her abilities to her advantage, continuing on this frag fest now, healing up. Are we going to see another pop? Grab it. Oh.
Well, he's done enough damage at least. 2 kills, and what I like about it too is you saw how he used that dismiss. He used that dismiss also as jiggle beats. Yeah. So because you're basically, you can't shoot back, they can't shoot you. So use your advantage of this being intangible for a bit to just look for that information.
And though on that dismiss, or even picking up the orb to do what he needed to, right?
Yeah.
I thought he was going to be all right.
So a temp of a retake right now. Drone's trying to move in. Huynh does get the pick onto Wardell. And that felt like that was almost through the smoke, but we had the point of view of Drone, who's trying to bring this on a 1 versus 1 towards Hell. But player 1 stops him. So we have 1 more round here to go in this first half. And Gen.G continues to assert dominance. But it seems as though in this first half so far, Evan, we haven't really had a chance to see an econ being built up for the defender side. We see a lot of forced situations where they had, yes, an operator, but very low buys. 2 situations where Hazed only had a ghost. Couple of Spectres as well for a couple of rounds too. They didn't seem to have it right. Look at this. Even on the last round. Sheriff, Bulldog, 2 Phantoms, and a Vandal.
Just a rough first half coming up from TSM here. And to be honest, I haven't played this map enough to really call a side. But honestly, I think it's more just the momentum that feels like it's in Gen.G.
That's right.
Corner, right?
Yeah.
So maybe this is what you wanted, Alex. The champs dethroned by your friends in French Canada.
Yeah, if it wasn't Immortals, maybe it's nice to see that it could be Gen.G. But at this point, it's not over yet. They're not leaving without a fight. They still have, or had, 2 ultimates actually on this round, but they've lost it for not using it. So Drone falls off first. They at least managed to get the spike carrier down. We still have a Sage ult up for Hazed, who's looking for that kill. And a double with success, and a third, maybe no. But now at least it's a 1 versus 1. Cutler versus huynh.
And that wall's going to give Sova the pure entry into that B-bomb site. He's still going to take his time to clear. That's a good recon dart now. That's going to keep Cutler at bay just enough for him to move into sight, get that plant down safely.
So that spike will go down.
Just hide in the back left corner. Oh, he went back right. He should have gone back.
Well, that position gives it away. Recon Bolt also to give a chance for a wallbang if huynh wanted to, but huynh uses that time to actually get a different position, and Cutler wins that 1 versus 1, clutches this one here, and the first half ends 7-5 in favor of Gen.G.
Yeah, so TSM definitely making it a little bit more competitive. Gen.G definitely having the momentum, however, but that is a good little foot end, good little way to end the half there for the Gen.G's, or the TSM side, I should say.
Yeah. So I have seen in the chat actually that some people are saying that it's attacker side at least on this map. So maybe it's not really over yet for TSM. Chat, what do you think? Is it attacker sided or defender sided? And I want to see your emotes still. Or do we still have fans of Gen.G and TSM right now in the chat? Put them up. But just to reassess on that first half here, once again, Evan, just a really good job here for Gen.G to nullify mid. We'll see if TSM could do the same thing, but they really only have brimstone smokes. Well, I guess at the same time, you kind of had only one way to smoke as well for... No, 2 ways. You had Cypher as well, and we have Cypher on both sides. So you kind of have 2 quote-unquote smokes. You have a Jet on top of that, too, on the attacker side. So you have plenty of abilities, actually, now that I think about it, to still continue to take possession and control of mid side for TSM this time.
All right, breaking that ice wall now. That's creating a little bit of pressure on effys and PL1 now towards that B area. We are going to see just mid control being taken, not much else out of the Gen.G's or the TSM side.
Yeah, they broke the wall earlier on. It gives a little bit of information away, but maybe as a bait too, because the spike is making his way back towards his mid side. You still see a couple of guys walking too, and then they're walking back towards towards B, sorry. So a double fake coming across, but they still have a 3-man stack inside B. 40 seconds left on the clock. I still think we maybe have some brimstone smokes available. Yeah, you see the iPad being pulled out here. So Subroza's going to drop 2 down. Guimond, though, still manages to get the first kill onto Wardell. Paranoia from Omen, which is huge right now to prevent them from walking out. Oh, a shock arrow coming in, and a double, and that gets the kill onto Hazed. And then Drone at least trades it back onto effys. Still trying to move inside the site, ring around the Rosie through the box. Finally gets stopped by Drone. 15 seconds left on the clock. At least they'll get the plant. Nice shot throws onto huynh. They break the wall as well towards this mid connector side. And they know that they're now hiding inside the site. So MkaeL right now with GMD trying to win this clutch. Tripwire to prevent anybody from flanking from behind. The first kill does come in favor of Gen.G. And a second one as well, and it leaves it on to a 1 versus 1. Oh! 3 HP remaining as GMD gets that kill and that win versus Drone. And I think before your 3 HP, he was sub 20. So yeah, a great job there by Guimond.
Round there from GMD. And honestly, you got to commend TSM for the attack on that site there. It was a great execute. They're going to drop those smokes, but the Omen paranoia that you mentioned, Alex, that's what really gave the Gen.G side the opportunity to just take a breather while that execute was going on, because the hardest thing to do is when an execute is coming in to actually figure out how you want to hold the site. But when you get at least a second or two to breathe, you can hear the numbers of footsteps, you can hear the abilities being used, you can kind of process it a little bit more, and that's what the Omen paranoia did in that situation. It's not always about flashing for necessary kills, you know?
Onto this round, TSM just wants to move very quickly, but there's a gap in the smoke right now for player one to jump on the top of the brick wall to get the first kill. Still trying to open up. They do get the burst shot in the face, but no kills connected onto GMD, unfortunately, but at least finally it's traded off by Drone. Spike is still down. No, sorry, Spike has been re-picked up. It's a 3 versus 3, and we're falling back towards this mid-side control for TSM. Chat was wondering what a paranoia is. It's one of the abilities of Omen that actually, if you get caught by it, you get basically blinded. And the ability is called paranoia.
Yep.
So with that, though, MkaeL is holding inside the A site, does have a camera up, and he's going to spot them a few footsteps towards the A main, but is not calling for the rotation yet. He thinks it's only a 1 versus 1 lurk, so he doesn't have that information that there's 2 other players towards that garden. So this could be huge right now for the attackers, but the Brimstone is making his way towards spawn side. So that's going to be a long-range fight, but he does win it. So that's Subroza that wins it. Meanwhile, MkaeL is still towards the generator and gets the first kill. Then he comes in across for a second kill onto Drone with 14 seconds left on the clock. We have to get a kill coming through and a spike being attempted to be picked up by Subroza, but MkaeL says no and gets a hat trick with the Spectre.
Yeah, that was a very interesting hold there. I mean, attack there from the TSM side. They essentially all split up, and that gave MkaeL the opportunity to divide that into 1v1v1. And at the end of the day, I mean, I felt like maybe if they went down into a 2v1 scenario or 1v2 scenario, that would still be better than, I mean, the situation they were in there. So just a rough round out of TSM. I think they're really just struggling to find their ground on their attacking side right now.
Despite them winning that round, though, still a low buy coming in for the defenders.
That too, right?
Wardell does have the op. Not too sure why he used an air dash at the beginning of the spawn. Maybe it was an accidental click, but they're looking for this mid control earlier on for the attacker side. And they're actually still continuing their walk up towards this catwalk to try to open up that side. So that's going to be thrown now on his own to do that.
Yeah, we have Reyna playing fairly passively. Ooh, that bolt's actually going to get a lot of info, and that's going to result in Brimstone taking a lot of damage here.
Yeah, now Wardell's meeting up here with Drone. They're trying to work up towards this catwalk side. Camera's at the same place here for MkaeL, who could look back towards the A main. And also spot feet, I guess, if they're walking from catwalk to the garden. But they do have the right stack going on with 2 players playing towards the garden side, and still MkaeL playing inside this A site.
The hunt begins.
Here comes that first Empress ultimate coming in from Guimont, who does get the first kill. huynh, meanwhile, has fallen down. Still in the eyes of MkaeL as he sees his teammate get the headshot onto Wardell. And a third one coming through. But MkaeL is still holding the site. He gets that frag and a nice flick there back towards that generator to get the headshot on to Subroza as well. And now we have a 5-round gap in the lead for Gen.G, only needing 3 more here in this best set of 3. This is the 3rd map, if you guys are just tuned in.
Yeah, that was another great round out of MkaeL. They're individually holding that bomb site. Of course, we saw some great help coming out from his teammates nonetheless. But at the same time, I mean, that still came down to GMD, we saw him pick up 3 on his own. But then it just came down to MkaeL again. Pivoting around the box, playing that same position, doing a great job.
And although we only saw a bit of action towards the end for the last 2 kills on that box, it shows how he was only focused towards that A main. He didn't have to worry about looking back towards the heaven flank, didn't have to worry about looking towards that catwalk side, because his teammates were looking out for them and getting the kills. So it's a great way for him to, like, quote-unquote, play the bait so that he could be the last anchor inside the site to win the fight, and he did.
All right, Wardell now taking down MkaeL as we were talking about that. That's opening up the entire A site, but look at this. This is it, Alex. Reyna and Sage. Will they meet? Doesn't look like it.
No, I won't hear it either. So it's it should be easier right now for the attackers to make it inside this A side.
Oh, and that was a good smoke coming up from Wardell, escorting now Sage across to that bomb site.
They make it with pistols, mind you. So they're able to open up this site with pistol. huynh is currently rotating all the way towards scaffolding at heaven. Guimont trying to move forward here with his Phantom. Back at the catwalk side, the door. Pretty much, I think at this point, or 1 has not been clicked because they didn't want to waste any time or give position away. And they're going to leverage the owl drone, sorry, to try to cover, get some information. Nice shot there from Gimo. He gets dinged first, but at least gets the headshot back onto Hazed, but decides to go for the dismiss instead of a heal, as Cutler gets 2 kills just like that. The first one onto Gimo. You saw it in the point of view of Gimo that his teammate was dropping down from heaven to try to go for the surprise kill. And Cutler, people are calling him the boomer, but that's the second time that he clutches it here for TSM.
That was some great shooting. Great shooting coming out from Cutler, making that sheriff, you know, making it earn its cost right there. But that is exactly the round that TSM needed. If we look at the money, actually, Alex, and we check out what's going on that front, we'll most likely see that I do believe TSM, yeah, look at their money here. They need this round, and Drone getting this kill is exactly the part that they want.
That was super aggressive on his end. Ultimate to start, even a slight buddy hop to catch the first off guard, and that's already effys nullified. So no heals coming through. It's turning off onto a run it back, so he still stays alive. Orb now picked up. We get a few kills happening towards this mid side. Now we're trying to push through the Omen smoke, but Subroza's waiting for them, leaving now huynh on his own inside B, who gets immediately dispatched by Drone. And that was an eco round coming through, but again, using an ultimate on against an eco, not too bad, because you still manage to get a few more kills on top of that. I mean, you get the first kill and 2 more kills after. You're already at two orb points.
Yeah, and if I'm on the Gen.G side right now, I'm gonna tell them, hey guys, let's kick it into passive mode. Don't worry about getting aggressive. We've been banging it out in those aim fights, in those duels. Let's just go passive and let's just see what happens on this round here. No need to force it. No need to try and end it early.
I saw one of the comments in the chat, and it's definitely night and day from Gen.G's performance from the Twitch rivals into this one. So definitely let's commend Gen.G on their performance here. And maybe it is that difference to have huynh back into the roster, somebody who is an operator for the team. I mean, you look at Hiko. Hiko's not really an operator in this game. He's like a Viper, a breach player, but never an opper. So maybe that's what they kind of needed back into this roster and that chemistry to help out. Nonetheless, though, player 1 is already down to 11 HP. I don't know if that self boost him. that would suck if they actually tried to go for mid, but they are or at least a mid push. They go for the wall for the res, so they still have a 5-on-5 situation. They still have an orbital strike from their Brimstone on the attacker side, and also a Blade Storm from Wardell.
Okay, it does look like A is what they'll be favoring here, however. There's smoke coming in from Omen just to help Sage a little bit towards that B. We are seeing TSM now moving in towards that A bomb site.
Yeah, but the spike is still working slowly towards this B side, so they're going to try to run this fake. Starting off with the orbital strike to try to call off the rotation, but it doesn't work. You still have that stage that's holding in there, and the footsteps have been heard, and he's hiding behind his own blade, or should I say, his opponent's blaze wall, who gets the kill onto Hazed. Spike will go down. He knows that it's towards B. GMD on top of that gets the kill onto Drone. Oh no. So Wardell has to come up huge here. He's up on a 3 versus 1 inside the side on his own, and he's done it before here from this very position. That's the first one. Phantom Knives to come out as well. Or should I say the Blade Storm? A second one to connect. And now it's a 1 versus 1. Op versus op. What more? Asian operators. As Wardell is hiding behind the site. That clock is still ticking down. And he connects here onto player. Sorry, now that it's that real 1 versus 1. Didn't know it was a 2 versus 1 at this point, but he uses the Phantom Knives to try to win this one here. He whiffs on that shot. And now huynh gets the kill with the classic, but the bomb is going to go off. And that clutch does come in for Wardell.
Yeah, that was massive. I'm not sure why PL1 took that fight individually. He should have partnered up there with Sova, with huynh, and actually gone for the kill together there. That allowed Wardell really to clutch that round out. Unfortunate circumstance. But for TSM, I mean, they've got Gen.G on an eco, giving them the opportunity now to get 1 round closer to tying it up.
I missed that player 1, so it was actually a very tough hold to be done there for Wardell in the back of the site. So a great job for him. clutching this one here to keep TSM into this game. And also, you could see now from the aggressive play and the point of views of the players of Gen.G that they're going to be on another eco here. Or a force buy, because Gimo does have a Bulldog. Goes for a trade. Subroza, though, walks through his own smoke and does connect onto player 1. So a 4-on-3 situation. Oh no, effys had that. He had him dead to rights, and Drone just reacted on time, going for the wobble jump, and connects with the Phantom right after. Now the B site is open. Easy for them to walk into the site, clear it out first, of course, and then plant it easily here. So the last two guys here, it is going to be huynh and also Gimo. We're just going to look for some exits at this point. Holding out towards the spawn side, looking at mid and looking at the B exit. First one at B mid is going to fall down. Hazed about to connect here.
Oh,
and there you go.
I was counting on him to make it around the corner there. All right, so 9 to 10. We're going to see the buy round most likely come in. Yep, so Gen.G's got the weapons now. Remember, this was, I do believe, what, 10 to 5? If I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
So now 4 in a row here for the side of TSM. The momentum has shifted. Alex.
Dude, that's 4 rounds in a row. One more to tie things up. And now, as some of the chat was saying, it's attacker-sided. You're starting to see that. Maybe we're starting to believe that you can assert dominance on this attacker side more than defender. And now this time there's no mid control coming in for TSM though. They're going for an all-out peek towards. Oh no, that's going to be a trade though, and a double from Joe. That was a great way to play it. A wall's going to come up early to try to get at least one res up.
You will not kill my ally.
He's going to jump up on the wall and try to get it. Hot hands on top of that, just to try to connect onto someone. But at least it still makes it a 4 versus 4 and a res wasted early in the round.
Yeah, and that's moving over to A will be the rest of TSM right on the entrance of A main. MkaeL, can he do it? He gets the first one onto Cutler. Can he get the second? Subroza and Wardell, though, Alex. Absolutely demolishing their way in.
Yeah, they're here to play now. You can start seeing that they're a little bit more crisp on the way that they're entering towards the site for these battles, getting the upper hands as well. So they are able to perform under heavy pressure right now on TSM, falling from behind, tying up this game right now on a 10-10, because you can see Omen and the Sage both holding their tails between their legs, and that is going to be player 1 and also effys just looking to save back towards even the attacker spawn.
In my opinion, what I'd like to see right here is just go into a passive setup. Don't look for those early kills. Give them middle. Double up towards that short A area. Play 1 inside the A site and maybe 2 in on that B bomb site. The site itself as a whole. And kind of, watch that mid connected area. Watch the mid area. But don't really commit to any big fights or any big duels. And just see if you can take the round based off your aim alone.
Definitely there, and we see that right now from TSM, and they're just doing so well. Tying things up on a 10-10. Again, wasting an ult early in the round, which means they don't have it until later on unless effys is able to pop off just a bit here. On the defender side, should they continue to assess their dominance towards B for TSM?
I'm buying that sword. Thing's amazing.
I'd like to know how much it costs, but I don't know if I'm going to buy it yet.
It's
I spent a lot for the Prime bundle already.
Oh, true.
But you can see for this position right now, we have run it back ready right now for the Phoenix. So I think Drone is going to ult right away just to try to get that entry once again into B. Okay, maybe not.
No, but we are gonna see that aggression being faked right now. That ISO, look at how scared the TSM is. But now Drone, there's the ulti. He does take a little bit of a shock arrow or shock dart, but he has moved into the site on defense.
Yeah, and he heard the reload actually towards the spawn, so he called out that audible for his teammates and letting them know that B is actually open. So Drone gets that kill onto Guimont as the flanker as well. So they ran behind the ultimate at the same time to just clear out the site together. So it's just really not one person that went in to look for that information. Elise, Hunter's Fury from huynh does connect onto Subroza. It's traded off as they still have the advantage though for TSM, looking to take the lead. But player one is not done yet. He goes for the flank himself, gets a kill to make it a 3 versus 3. And that's a nice Sova recon arrow that's going to spot 2 inside the site. Wardell being paranoid at the same time too, hiding back in the back of the site, and Hazed and CLG doing their job though on the outside of the site. Spawn in the last one is going to be effys. He does manage to get the first kill, and finally Wardell, as he's unblinded, comes back and gets the frag, and just like that, TSM is back in the lead, only needing 2 rounds.
Yeah, that is massive right there. And as we move into what could be the final rounds here, we're looking at the money on Gen.G, Alex, and what we see, well, we're going to see a couple people really able to get a strong buy, but huynh and effys, well, they're going to be struggling. Spectre, yeah, in favor of getting abilities, of course. And then what does huynh end up with? We can see there.
No.
No. Okay, so he's gonna get a Spectre as well.
Yeah.
Getting me back for making the throw to break.
That's 2 strikes here, Evan.
Yeah.
All right, nonetheless, though, Wardell is going to try to look back here. It's going to be Drone working towards A. We saw the curveball being thrown first. They're trying to clear out towards huynh at the same time, too, with the haunt hand, so nobody's going to peek out there. They have a camera up with MkaeL holding that site on his own so far. And once again, Guimont playing on that catwalk, who decides to fall back on the A side. So they have a crossfire set up. The camera's going to spot a lot, though. They're not spraying across it yet. Oh, nice, because they're utilizing the camera. Hazed, meanwhile, does get the spray and get the kill onto GMD. Now they're running across towards this catwalk. MkaeL is under heavy pressure. He still manages to get the first kill. Maybe not a second here as he gets stopped by Hazed. Meanwhile, the Wardell was able to get that off shot on the top of heaven, and things are looking good once again here for the attacker side. Because even with the neuro theft, they know where the last person is. They even res on top of that to make it a 4 versus 1 to seal the deal and make sure that they guaranteed series point.
What a collapse. What a collapse, unfortunately, man. We saw such promise coming out from Gen.G now, and quicker than Thanos could snap his fingers. Okay? I mean, we're seeing now TSM get that 12th round out. They're hunting for kills at this point.
Oh, no.
Get it up to effys. They're going to be on match point. Very unfortunate to see for Gen.G, who is confidently in the lead.
And that's what I was talking about. Somebody was asking me, like, wasting the ult early because they tried to go for those peaks and it died. They could have used that ult later on in crucial rounds like this. effys kept that, the way I see it, kept that tracker on him, not only because he was getting hunted down, but he's only got 3 ult points out of 7. So to have them chase after him, if he had better positioning, better angle, or should I say maybe more bullets in that Spectre, he could actually build up a little bit more ultimate points to actually rebuild that ultimate into a much needed round here as they're facing elimination and a loss in this best out of 3 versus TSM. And now they even fully just give out mid control because they're just using an owl towards the spawn side to spawn out the Elise Wardell with the operator. Don't think they saw more than that. But we have crept up already towards the archway of mid. So that is going to be Subroza and Drone looking for that kill towards that B market. It's Subroza to put the 1 kill closer to the victory. effys, though, ties it up. huynh says, no, we're not done yet. We're going to go the distance. As now we have that 3 versus 3. Cutler all towards this mid control, does have the spike in hand. Right now, the only ultimate that we have is a neural theft on the defender side, and that's all the way towards A with MkaeL, who's been soloing this side for quite a while. Meanwhile, though, Wardell does get the kill onto effys to put his ultimate up, and he's going to start off his Blade Storm to try to clear out the B bomb site. And so far, as he looks across here inside, you do have the 2 defenders already cheated towards B. And it starts off with huynh making it a 2 versus 2.
Yeah. This is big now. They're going to get into the site. That's a good on dart now coming out as well. We are going to see the Neural
Just
theft.
book it.
Cage
Oh.
triggered.
Yeah, this is huge. The rotations come in. Are they gonna make it? Yeah, they got it. They got it. They made it.
Yeah, they definitely do. They're going to get this spike plant, and it's going to be a long rotate right now for the last two
Planted the
players.
spike.
Now, can it get it done? It comes down here to huynh and also to MkaeL. Two really good players right now for Gen.G, who we've commended them throughout this whole series to be able to stay alive for the team. Right now, it is a crossfire setup for the two players of TSM inside Hell. Not making a single noise are the two attackers right now. Silva arrow to come out. That's not going to connect with anybody, so they don't have any information right now for Gen.G. They hear a lot of footsteps from TSM side. The first one to drop, and it's the Cape. And Hazed gets a double kill and the win right now for TSM with a big comeback to win this series in 3. 13-10 on that last map. 13-11 on the first map of Haven for them to take the Blitz CLG Cup number 2.
Yeah, I mean, as far as I'm concerned, TSM showing why they won the last cup. Coming back there in that win, phenomenal effort from them. This time, we're going to see Subroza actually